If motorcycle racing was not at all dangerous, most of them would not do it.
Hi, welcome to Premier Scene. My name's Andy, as we attend the UK premiere of Road, a documentary movie about the world-famous biking family, the Dunlops, and their impact on the Isle of Man TT races.
They are called road racers, men who race motorcycles on ordinary country roads.
The stone walls, the curbs, the telegraph poles, what the riders call the furniture, those things cannot be removed.
It's an honour actually to be here and to be asked to do this. I've always had the greatest of respect for the guys who go road racing. I mean, it is the most frightening sport out there, I've always thought. I've never quite understood why they've done it, but this film, yeah, it makes me realise a little bit more why, but I think unless you're one of the small minority of gladiators that go out and do it, I think you can never quite get it.
What is it about the Dunlop family in particular, that the father, the uncle and now the sons now, that has kept them at the top of their game for many years?
I would say there's something in their DNA. It's an extraordinary strength of character through all of them. Joey had this almost 180 character where he would get in a car, a van, and drive on his own out to Eastern Europe with supplies and for the orphans, and then come back and jump on a bike and ride. You know, it's odd. Robert, to come back from the accident where they said he wouldn't walk again, to get on a bike, and he almost found it therapeutic to get on a bike. And the boys, you know, what they did to get on the grid in 2008 at the Northwest was, once again, that Dunlop DNA coming through. And I think the dynasty, you know, that's unfolding it is Hollywood, but being played out in Ireland, and very raw kind of Hollywood story, and it really gets to you.
What's your earliest memories of this, but super bikes in particular?
Do you mean road racing? Well, I think, you know, from an early age I'd heard about the TT and seen footage of it, and I just couldn't believe that the guys would get on the bike and go at those speeds around normal roads. There's one thing going around a track, which they talk about, but it's something else going around a public road with no runoff areas.
What kind of mental preparation do these guys go through, and physical preparation do you think that they go through before they actually get on the bike?
Well, that's a question I'm going to talk to them about tonight. Certainly very different, I think, to track racing, where it's so much safer and still not safe. But this, the furniture, as they call it, that's the stuff that can really get you. So, yeah, I'm going to ask them the question.
How far do you think this can go, the sport in general, the times, in terms of the times coming down? Is it going to be the advancement in the bikes or the better riders, say, for example, over the years?
I think this is where they need to be a bit careful. I mean, even when you're on a track, they have to keep the speeds at a discernible level. I mean, they're still doing 200 miles an hour, but technology charges on, of course, and I think that's what can be controlled with bike racing. You can make it safer, but you can never make it safe, and that is part of the thrill.
For some, like brothers Michael and William Dunlop, it is a way of life passed on to them by their father Robert and his brother Joey, two of the world's most successful road racers.
First of all, how is the injury after your crash last week?
That's not too bad. Well, I just got rid of the crutches here because my hands are all blistered, so it's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse, so just there's somebody up there looking after me, I think, because I broke my left leg in a couple of places, but it's nothing serious.
Obviously, the success of your family through the years, does this continue to be a driving inspiration for you as you continue through your career?
I think now it's got to the stage where myself and Mike we're up at the front now, and you're wanting to do well for yourself more than just the family. It's just a bonus that you have the Dunlop name, but we're quite lucky to have that. But no, we drive on because we're both passionate about doing well, whether it's sport or whether it's just messing about.
What about the physical preparations that you have to go through as a bike rider, and mental preparations? What is that like before a race and the build up to a race?
Yeah, I think physically it's not so much. It's more to do mental. Road racing is just a mental thing. So if you're mentally fit, you can get away with anything else, I think, in road racing.
What about the movie in itself? Do you think this is the type of movie that will bring non-motorsport, non-superbike fans to the fore, that will come and see it and maybe become fans after watching it?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think maybe people just see it as boys being stupid with motorbikes, but I think, as I say, we're proud of everything about it. We're not one bit sad about any of it, so hopefully people can see how much we put into it, and as I say, it wasn't just handed to us in a plate.
What happens to you with the injury now? Is it rehabilitation now for a while, and then you get back into the bike as soon as you can?
Yeah, the doctors told me 68 weeks for it to heal, so we're motorbike racers, we want to get on as quickly as possible. I'm aiming for 4 weeks. I got road racing scary, so we're not like footballers. We'll get up and get at it, So.
For a road racer, danger is ever present. Death just a split second away.
Came over the loudspeaker.
He's had an accident.
I remember just holding his hand.
You're on 21 wins, 5 behind the record. Is that an inspiration for you to get to that record, or maybe even beat it in the next few years?
It would be the icing on the cake, I've been racing there a long time, and to get 1 win's a massive achievement. To get 21, I never thought when I started my racing career I'd ever have 21 TT wins. But yeah, we're getting there. I'll just keep plugging away, keep trying, and I'd have to be careful. I'd like to match Joey Dunlop's record of 26, but I'd have to be careful if I went over it. I might not be able to step foot in Ireland ever again. But
yourself, you've raced against the whole dynasty of the family. What is it about the Dunlop name and the family, the sons and the uncle and the father before them, that has really kept them at the top for so many years?
Yeah, it's a lot of things, It's passion, determination from the 2 brothers here, But yeah, my all-time hero when I was a young kid was Joey Dunlop, and I never thought I'd ever get to race with him, and then I raced with him, and then I became Joey's last ever teammate on the superbikes together in the year 2000 when he did the treble at the TT, and I raced with Robert and wheel to wheel with Robert. They were hard and fair riders, and all of a sudden the boys have grown up. I'm still racing, and I'm riding wheel to wheel with Michael and William, which is it's really, really cool. I was Michael's teammate last year in the Honda squad, and Michael won 4 TTs last year, so I spent a lot of time with teammates with both Joey and Michael. So and they're doing all the winning now. They're going to take some stopping in the future.
I was asking the lads about their inspiration, obviously their father and their uncle. Am I right in saying that you started off from an early age because your family had a motorbike business? Is that how you kind of got into the sport?
Yeah, I didn't really have much choice, to be fair. My dad had a bike shop, and I thought it was Evel Knievel. I wanted to be Evel Knievel doing the stunts, and I'm glad he did. I used to sort of tear around the industrial estate where the bike shop was, and like nowadays, if you get a motorbike out on an industrial estate, the police helicopter's out and you're in jail. But yeah, that's how I learned to ride a bike at a young age of 3 or 4 years old. And then, my dad used to do a bit of scrambling, bit of road racing, whatever he could afford to do. And, it's just a massive part of my life. And it still is now, I don't know any different. I won't watch football, cricket or anything. It's just all bikes for me. And, here we are many years down the line, still doing it at a decent level and, still picking our results up. So, yeah, it's been a big part of my life and family.
How would you sum up your season this year? Because I know you've had a wrist injury, haven't you? Do you think that's hampered you? It's held you back a little bit this year?
Yeah, I'm not making too many excuses. It's been a tough start to the year, and 10 weeks ago I was laying on a load of boulders in the Lake District from a training accident and did some quite serious injuries to my wrist, and probably a little bit more serious than I made out, but I was so determined to ride at the Northwest 200 and the TT, so I probably shouldn't have been riding. I was just hanging on in there, I did my best. I got in the top 6 on the superbike and I won the electric bike race, and I think to compete in this year's races was a win just to get there, because the surgeon just said forget it. So we've accomplished a bit more than what we thought we were going to do, and season's not over. I'll just keep plugging away, and hopefully we'll do some more racing towards the end of the year.
Look at Dunlop now up the inside. I thought McGuinness might be going for Elkin.
Thousands of people were sat on that motorbike with Michael, urging him to win.
They're so part of what is going on. You can feel the heat of the engine, the noise. If you think about what it's like to watch it, what the hell must it be like to be sitting on the thing?
First of all, I'd like to ask you, with a project like this, how do you become involved and how long has it taken to put it together with regards to archive footage and everything that goes into that?
Well, one answer to that question is all our lives. We both have families that have been interested in racing, interested in road racing. I had a close relative who himself was a motorcycle racer of a different kind, but nevertheless he would have introduced me and my brothers to road racing. And road racing has a particular status in Northern Ireland, itself, but particularly in Northern Ireland, and particularly in the part of Northern Ireland that Michael and William Dunlop come from. So, this was a story that we felt very intimately and felt that we knew very intimately. But we also knew that it was an epic tale that had universal qualities that would travel very well to other places. It's almost Greek, epic in its nature, and that's the way we saw it. We didn't see it as a local parochial story. We saw it as a story of brothers, sons, siblings that will carry all around the world, because anywhere, any part of the world that enjoys what young men do, which is race motorcycles, would enjoy this, but would also understand the very special relationship that existed between the Dunlop families.
This isn't a movie just for motorsport superbike fans, is it? It's for a wider audience, and that's what you're trying to encapsulate with this, aren't you?
Absolutely. It's a very dramatic and very moving family story, and it happens to be road racing, but these are men dedicated to a way of life, and it could be mountain climbing, it could be, whatever, in different situations. It just happens to be a story of a road racing family, but ultimately about a family.
Do you think that feeling of danger and will come across to the audience as well in terms of how you've incorporated the shots and the clips in the movie?
Well, more than that. I mean, there's although this is an awe-inspiring and inspiring story, there's tragedy at the heart of it. With Joey and Robert Dunlop. But at the same time, we have to just recognise that what these young men do is something extraordinary, something that must be thrilling to a level that we mere mortals could never understand. But you've got to be true to the truth of that, because with that comes unbelievable risks. Probably more risks than in any other motorsport on the planet, I would say, and that's maybe why they're admired so much, that they seem happy to take the risks day in, day out, week in, week out. That is admired. But it also acknowledged and recognises, and they would acknowledge and recognise that there is great risk in their sport. But this is what they do. This is how they live, but it's also how they make a living, and that's why they continue to do it.
The challenge of facing up to danger and overcoming it that attracts them.
Unbelievable! Absolutely unbelievable! There are going to be tears of joy.
This is the story of two sets of brothers, two generations of one family, united by success, united by loss, united by the road itself.